Hey everybody, hey, welcome back to the show. Hey listen, we're starting to wind things down here, but there's a good friend of mine I wanted to bring up and talk to a little bit because he's got a lot of muskie expertise. He sat on the muskie panel with us a number of times over the years. He's fishing a lake, guys, that most people want to fish. So we're going to bring him on, let him tell you about it, let him find out how you can get in touch with this guy because they're catching a lot of big fish on this pond he's fishing. And it's just one of those deals that if you can't get there, well, then you're missing out. If you can get there, it could be the trip of a lifetime. We're bringing him up right now. Matt Firestein, how you doing?
Good, Bob. Thank you very much for having me on. It's been a pleasure the last couple days, especially sitting there with a couple notorious guys like you and Spence. What an honor. Very humbling to be sitting up there. But I'm on Lake Sinclair. I've got a couple boats. We do trolling, casting, and jigging for muskies out there. It's a heck of a body of water, very dynamic. A lot of water too. 267,000 acres.
That's a lot of water.
It's a lot of water. So you can, cover in water, and then we do the walleye gig too, where we have about 20 to 30 million walleyes come up from Lake Erie to spawn in the Detroit River. Yeah, and it's they're all on the bottom because the current holds them there. You don't even have to figure out where they're at. So
what you just told me is you have a walleye population.
Yeah, just for a couple months, and then.
Oh man! I can't imagine fishing. Well, I suppose some of the lakes we fish probably have that too, but I've never heard it talked about in those terms. That's an awful lot of fish, folks. An awful lot. Like Matt was saying, he charter guides on Lake St. Clair. Now, Lake St. Clair, if you don't know it, is a relatively shallow lake. Average 10, 12 feet.
Yeah, average is 11 feet depending on the water level that year. So the water level can fluctuate, which will throw that average off. And then the deepest spot is 20 feet, but that also is dependent on the water level that year. Now we do have a shipping channel that's dredged deeper, and it's the busiest shipping channel in the Great Lakes, mostly because it's central, with Ontario and Erie on one side, Michigan, Huron, and Superior on the other. So it's very busy.
How wide is this shipping channel?
You can barely get a couple ships through it, It's I don't know how those pilots make it by each other, but they do.
But they do, huh?
Yeah, and it would vary in the river. I mean, you got some wide spots, but the cut going across the lake to me seems pretty narrow.
Yeah, it's pretty narrow. You were set up at the show here, like most of us, and you had an opportunity to talk to a few anglers that came through. Give me a consensus, just an overall consensus, because this is the first show that we've been able to do in 2 years. So what is Matt's consensus of how the show went?
You know what? I think it went really, really good. What a great venue it was. Great speakers. Very nice facility. The food was awesome. And I think you had a very diverse the people that were working the show, it was very diverse. So you had guides, resorts, you had experts that fished, you had all sorts of boats, rods. I think it was phenomenal. I think that it's just a matter, it's a semi-new show and it's just going to catch on. And then I think there is a little apprehension with the COVID right now.
Oh, I think there's a lot of apprehension with the COVID right now. I think the media is doing an unjust favor to the anglers and outdoors people because they, one local outdoor writer here basically said in a newspaper article, stay away.
Yeah.
How can you tell a community of anglers and then a community of small businessmen, because that's what we are, everybody in here is a small businessman of one sort or another. How can you tell this community that they shouldn't be applauded, they shouldn't be attended just because of a COVID deal, which is or isn't that bad a deal right now?
Right.
I mean, it boggles my mind. It really does. You guys on Lake St. Clair can fish with multiple lines. Unlike in Minnesota where we can fish one line, you guys can fish now, I believe, 3?
3 on the U.S. side, 2 on the Canadian side.
2 on the Canadian side.
That's in the lake, though.
And when you can fish, you fish both sides of that lake. You fish the Canadian and the U.S. side. You don't solely concentrate on just the U.S. side. You're fishing the entire lake.
Absolutely, yeah. There's really, you've got, it just depends on wind, water, and then where the fish are, congregated that time. Sometimes early in the season, there's some great bites on the U.S. side. Just post-spawn, and then there's also some great back eddies that hold fish all year, some community spots. So
how many, and this might not be able to be answered, but how many charter boats like Whopper Stopper Muskie charters are out there on that lake? Are there a lot of them?
You know what, there's not that many full-time guides, and the full-time charter captains that are running 30-foot boats, for just trolling. There's most of them fish for anything. They'll take your money for walleyes, perch, bass. They'll live bait for bass or muskies. I mean, even so, I'm one of the few that just does muskie. All I do is muskie. Now, as far as casting charters, there's about 5 or 6 full-time guides, and they're very good. You got Mike Holbert, Spencer Berman, Jason Quintano, Eddie, Greg Thomas, Eddie, Medicine Man charters, and these guys are full-time casting charters. Some of them do a little trolling, but I would fit in that category. I've got a big boat to troll, small boat for small parties, but I love casting. So whatever they want to do.
Spencer and Thomas both, and you may be one of those too, that came from another area to Lake St. Clair. You're not a local resident by birth. It didn't grow up there. Am I correct?
Yeah, you know what? I grew up, in South Bend. Graduated from Purdue, went to Chicago, got addicted to muskies, moved to Wisconsin so I could fish muskies more. And then I just, by luck of the draw, my girlfriend at the time said, "Hey, you want to move to Detroit?" And I was like, "Lake St. Clair? Yeah."
Yeah, what are we waiting for?
But I have been there longer than all those guys, really. Quintano's from the area, though. About 23 years I've been up there at a house.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, compared to the other guys. But
that's a long time.
All in all, those guys are good fishermen, too. And people always say, "Hey, boy, it's great that you guys keep in touch and talk to each other day in and day out." And the general fact of the matter is that if everybody's doing good, then our phones are all ringing. Yeah. It's a small industry, and, whatever we can do to support each other, I hope we do that.
Good. On another note, favorite trolling lure, favorite casting lure, talk to us.
For our lake?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. All year long?
Yeah, Summer Peak.
Summer Peak?
Yeah.
Summer Peak would probably be Spanky's Double 10. It'd be, we call it Hulk Hogan, gold blades, yellow skirt. And then we weight them differently, different times. Yeah. Sometimes up high, sometimes down low. This
is dragging, this is trolling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then as far as casting, I would go with, our Dusa is probably our money bait, Medusa.
Yeah.
And,
Are you throwing real large rubber? Are you throwing the big stuff?
I do. A lot of times my clients are pretty new, so we throw the regular size. If they're able to, then we may throw some pounders and stuff. But I've got to judge by my clients.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, your client will dictate what you can do.
Yeah.
It's always, even when we were doing our TV shows over the years, when we would put somebody in the boat with us that's never done it or had very little experience in it, we had to fish a certain way. We couldn't go out and fish the hardcore way we wanted to. We would kill them.
Right.
You'd kill them. So you had to kind of ease them into it. You can't believe how many people would get off an airplane and would pick them up and they'd go, "Man, I'd love to do what you do for a living." And you're out there on the water for one day and they come off the water and go, "God, how can you do this?"
Yeah.
So it takes its toll, no doubt about it.
That was, and I run the best equipment. I've got Grant rods, and I've got Revo Toro reels, real high speed, and a lot of times my clients just, as time goes on, they wear down and can't keep the baits off. 20 feet of water, they're dragging in weeds off the bottom, and it's so yeah, you got to be a good judge of character. It's my job to make sure they're throwing something they can be productive with.
Exactly.
And if they can't throw our best baits, then you just sort of go down the line, and at some point you're throwing something that can't sink.
Yeah.
But it's all good. God bless every one of them. I'm glad to have them.
Hey, folks, after one of our seminars here at the show, we had a little conversation, Spence Petros, Matt, and myself. We're potentially talking about trying to organize something that would be maybe once a week, if we can do it, where we bring all three of us onto our live show at one time. Now, here's why I'm telling you this. You're watching this show. Beneath this show are comments, okay? Our comments are open. You comment and tell us if you want to see Matt, Spence, and me do a show that's dedicated to muskies, but it's going to be multi-season, multi-technique, multi-everything, and yes, there will be a time that all three of us will actually agree on something. Would you like to see us do it? Let us know.
Awesome, that would be awesome.
Wouldn't that? It would be kind of fun.
Yes.
Now we're stretching our technology to do it, but I'm going to look into it to see what's possible. Now, if this comment box isn't loaded with people saying yes, 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 then I'm not going to take the time. But if you folks want to do it, if you want to see us do a show like that, Spence Petros, Matt, and myself, let us know. With that being said, hey, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures of his booth setup, because God almighty, this guy's got some fish. He catches just a boatload of fish, and that's what it's all about. If you're a guide, you need to put people on fish the right way. He is not afraid to put his rates out there either, folks. This is key. This gentleman has taken the time to build a business off of honesty, and he'll do everything in the world to deliver. He puts his rates out there. He tries to make it happen for you. Man, I want to say thanks for you for coming on the show. And we're going to put the contact information up here so people can get a hold of you. Your phone number is here. It's Whopper Stopper Muskie Charters. They are on Lake St. Clair out of Detroit. Matt, again, I can't tell you how much of a pleasure it's been to get to know you over the years. A lot of muskie fishermen are, I'm going to use this term not to be derogatory, but they're polarized, and you're not. You come off so genuine, and you come off with such respect. I'm more than impressed. I'm more than impressed with you.
Well, that very kind words, and I got to tell you, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for people like you guys and the stuff that you guys put out there and taught and made it able to catch fish. You went out there and you made it somewhat palatable that we could be successful too, and you taught us techniques through your videos through the years, and it was guys like you that made the sport attainable for a young kid like me.
Awesome.
So I want to say thank you very much, and all that you do for the sport.
You humble me, you really do. Hey folks, that being said, this is going to wrap up our interviews here at the Northern Illinois Sports Show. The next time you're going to see us do interviews will be at the Milwaukee Sentinel Show. You don't want to miss that. It's a big show. A lot of people will be there. This is Bob Mehsikomer. On behalf of Matt Firestein, we're saying good night. See you later. Bye-bye. We're gone.